This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website all in one place, all on your terms, but more on them later. So I've spent these past few months actively trying to de-influence my watch tastes, which has actually been pretty easy because I'm 8 months pregnant. All I want to do is sleep and eat, and I've been finding myself on watch social media a lot less. And the more time I've been spending away from the corporate wristwatch machine, the more I've realized how much watch social media, watch publications have informed my watch tastes and preferences, rather than me exploring what I actually like, if that makes sense. So here's some watch rules or watch principles that I think you should really just ignore. I feel like this one is going to upset the sensibilities of my audience because modern sports watches or modern tool watches is really my bread and butter and represents the watches that I personally love the most, or the watches I always thought that I loved the most. This last month, I have almost exclusively worn the neo-vintage Tag Heuer F1. I find it easy to wear, easy to choose, nostalgic, happy, but it is absolutely not modern. It is nearly 30 years old, and it's quartz, which makes a lot of watch nerds feel some kind of way, but this watch has met all my needs. I love that it's quartz. I love that I can set it, forget it, the date will always be right, the time will always be right. I've been using my dive bezel to time things. It's light and easy to wear, and every time I look down at it, it just makes me happy. Now, even though I've been giving my modern sports watches a bit of a break, it doesn't mean that I don't want them anymore. I will always have a few modern tool watches in the collection. I love the build quality, the specifications, the clasps, but I've just spent so long feeling like I need that next new Tudor or I need that new Rolex, when really I have enough modern tool watches in my collection and there's so much more to explore out there. This is kind of similar to number one, but I'm gonna let Conspiracy Brittany out and I'm gonna let her say whatever is on her mind. I think watch companies and publications have gone to great lengths to make us feel like we need a dive watch in our collection or we need a chronograph. You cannot live without one of these in your collection, when you really probably can. I have literally never been diving a day in my life. I went snorkeling once when I was a kid with my family and I love swimming. But I own not one dive watch, I own 2 dive watches with 200 meters of water resistance. I don't need that. I have never in my life needed to time something with a great degree of accuracy, and yet I own 2 chronographs. I think watch social media has convinced us that we need things that we really don't. Now, even though I don't go commercial diving, I still consider myself a fairly sporty person. I like to be outdoors, I'm fairly active, but something like a Rolex Oyster Perpetual can meet all my needs with ease. I think there's 2 layers to this. One, a lot of the icons are dive watches or chronographs, and we'd love to have said icon in our collection for what it represents. Example, the Submariner Speedmaster 50 Fathoms, Explorer 2. And the second layer is, I think we all just want to think of ourselves as sporty, cool people. Like, do I want to think of myself as a cool National Geographic photographer? Yes. Am I really just a nearly middle-aged person who makes a lot of watch videos out of my home studio and I barely go out? I think sometimes we need to just admit to ourselves, we don't really need these crazy complications. We just think they're cool and it's awesome a watch can do that and we love the engineering behind that, and that's okay. Building off what I said before and wearing my F1, I have been loving wearing a quartz watch. Watch geeks really need to stop gatekeeping mechanical watches only, because quartz does have its place. Will I have only quartz watches in my collection? No, but I want to feel less guilty about liking quartz watches or feeling like I need to justify why I bought a quartz watch. It absolutely has its place, it makes life easy, and if you personally hate quartz, cool. No one is making you buy one. But don't make other people feel dumb for liking quartz watches or buying quartz watches. I've got so many other things to rant about here, but let's take a break from ranting and talk about today's fabulous video sponsor, Squarespace. So I've been using Squarespace since before they were a video sponsor to build my own watch publication, which I'm still working on. But if you're doing anything online, you really need a website. Whether that is growing a brand, selling products, maybe you offer a service, making online content like I do, and Squarespace can help with all your website needs. They have professionally curated templates that you can customize to fit you and your personality. Maybe you want something colorful and wacky, they've got you covered. Maybe you want something more artsy, fartsy, and minimal, there's templates for that too. And everything can be tailored how you like. They have this feature called Fluid Engine, which allows you to drag and drop, move things around so it can look exactly how you want it to. If you're selling online, they have flexible payments for your customers, accepting credit cards, PayPal's, Apple Pay, and even buy now, pay later in eligible countries. If this is all sounding great to you, go to squarespace.com/BritPierce for a free trial. Click my link so they know I sent you and they want to work with me forever. Go right now to my description, click that link. And by doing that, you can save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. And now, let's get back to me ranting. I think this one is just me preaching at myself because I have this weird self-imposed pressure that once I buy something, I can never sell it or else I'm a flipper. And as it turns out, that just isn't true. It's okay to sell the watches that you don't wear. It's okay if your tastes and preferences change. I've sold 2 watches now, both at a loss anyways, so I don't think anyone should ever take flipping advice from me. I think this is a weird pressure I've put on myself because I've kind of defined myself as being someone who plays for keeps. And I think for a long time before purchasing, and I research for a long time. But there's some pieces I have now that I just don't wear. And it might be time for them to find a new life with someone who will actually wear them. And what am I saying? My general advice would be, if it is a highly sought after watch, like a Rolex Daytona or something that you've bought 3 months ago at retail from your authorized dealer and you've changed your mind on it, sell it back to your AD to maintain that relationship and just be honest with them. I personally think that relationship is more important than selling a watch for a few grand more. But generally speaking, most watches sell for less, and don't feel pressure to hold on to things you don't wear or you don't like anymore. I feel like this one is similar to other things I've said, but it is slightly different and I've had it bottled up inside of me for so long and it needs to come out. You do not need 100 meters of water resistance for your daily wear watch. I hear it all the time.
Well, what if I end up swimming? I never know what's gonna happen in my day.
When is the last time you went swimming and you didn't know you'd be swimming that day? You didn't have some kind of foresight. You didn't think, hey, I'm gonna go to the beach today, and then planned appropriately. When is the last time that ever happened to you? This is probably because I live in the UK now. When I lived in Canada, I used to go swimming a lot more. But still, I don't think there has ever been a time where I didn't have some kind of foresight and then planned appropriately. Maybe when I was a teenager. But I don't even think that happened then. If I'm on holiday, I have foresight. Even if it's a warm day and I decide right now I'm going to go to the beach, I will go change my watch. If I'm in my regular life, there is a 0.0001% chance I'm going to go impromptu swimming. And maybe you don't need a watch with 100 meters of water resistance for the odds. But even though you don't need 100 meters of water resistance on your everyday watch, it is still a good trait of a watch. Like, one thing I love about my Oyster Perpetual, it could be the only watch I bring on holiday because I can go swimming in it, I can dress it up, I can dress it down. So it's a good trait, but maybe we don't need it as much as we've convinced ourselves that we need it. Okay, is this one a stab at me? Yes, but this needs to be said. Don't let watch influencers, publications, celebrities that are put onto publications inform your watch tastes and your watch preferences. It's kind of hard not to, at least for me, because these things do have a bearing on my worldview. I know for me, Adrienne Barker, Jenny L, Teddy Baldessar, Watch Crunch have informed a lot of my personal tastes. Even Archie Luxury once made this video about how much he hates Nomos and how much he hates them. He thinks they're pieces of crap.
They're f***ing awful. They're f***ing dog, and I wouldn't be caught dead with a f***ing numbness on my wrist.
And I watched it right after I bought my first mechanical watch, which was a Nomos.
They're dog.
And it made me kind of feel like, is this a bad watch? Did I make a bad choice? It was a great choice. Archie and I just disagree about this, and that's okay. But I would recommend viewing watch social media, YouTube, even publications as entertainment. Do not let it sway your watch opinions and tastes all that much. I think we like to pretend that we're autonomous people and these things don't affect us, but they do. At least I do. I always say, oh, I don't care what they say. But then when I look at actually how I view the watch world, I really do care what they say. And it's okay to care about what they say. It's okay to disagree. Watch tastes are highly subjective. Be yourself. Have fun with it. It's your money to spend. Spend it on the watches that you truly love and bring you joy. Anyways, is there any other watch tips you'd throw on this list? Comment it down below. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to click that link down below. And now, let's thank the gorgeous, fabulous, wonderful Pope tier patrons. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Pope tier patrons! All tier patrons, you're the best. You're fabulous, you're wonderful, you're awesome. But the names on the screen are the highest level of patrons. Thank you so much for supporting my weird little channel. I hope you keep enjoying my content. And you're the best. You keep the lights on here at Gringa HQ. Thank you so much, guys.